welcome to Stargazer Barn. Hey, this is Bill Prescott, and I want to give you some quick care and handling tips for your wonderful Mother's Day lilies you've received. First, you're going to see they come in this box we designed special just to hold our flowers. Isn't it cute? Looks just like a barn. First thing you're going to do when it's dropped off is pull off the tab. This is how you get it open. Pops right open, and then here's what it's going to look. You're going to see the bud flowers, and as you pop this open, you get to see right down into the vase. And then, most people just care about the gift card, right? So you have a wonderful gift card. And then also we have care and handling instructions included with each order. So we're going to take the flowers out, and we'll kind of pull this out just a little bit and grab the lilies right out of the box here, and then lay them out on your workstation if you're in your kitchen or maybe in some other place you like to work with your flowers. We do a cute galvanized vase, and in here we have a couple things. First is our vase warning, because these get bounced around by FedEx, and we want to make sure you don't hurt any of your furniture. So we recommend that at least you'll make sure the vase doesn't leak, that you put it on a trivet or maybe in the sink to make sure that the vase hasn't gotten damaged in transport. That said, the vases really hold up well. Then also we have a bit of plant food. This is a key equation. Really helps the vase life of the flowers. So you're going to rip this open, and then you toss it in the vase. Then you take this and fill it up with water. We're not going to do that because obviously we're out in the greenhouse. So you'll have your vase ready, and then here you have your lilies, which are just ready to explode here. They're just gorgeous. This is our white lily, which is called white cup. Really a nice lily, huge blooms, as we'll see in a minute. You'll snip off our wrapping. You see, we just used this recyclable paper, so you're able just to take this paper and no plastic or anything like that here at Stargazer Barn. On the lilies, there's an additional little tie which kind of holds the bouquet together. And now you have a decision to make of how tall you want them to be. We keep them as long as we possibly can to highlight how strong our lilies are. So looking like this into your vase, boy, this might be a little too tall. You also want to be careful that you don't have so much weight in the top of the vase that it could fall over. I've seen it happen, not pretty. So you want to be thinking about that, and you're going to, I usually like to hold the vase and kind of imagine what it would look like, and I say, oh, this looks pretty good right here. So then, always have your, some nice garden shears ready, or some clippers, and you'll snip the stems. How am I snipping these, you may ask? On a nice 45-degree angle. That will ensure that good water flow gets up into the stem. If you cut them completely flat, they could get stuck on the bottom of the vase and not allow any water to get into the stems. And you'll see over a few days, these lilies drink. They will drink probably this much water in the first 3 or 4 days. It's amazing how kind of active they are in the vase. So then we just drop these in, and you'll see, the nice thing here is we have our bare grass that gives this nice line. It just gives a little thing so you can kind of pull this out. And then I like to just kind of arrange them. The nice thing to do is, depending on where you're going to put them in your house, sometimes I'll put them, on an end table up against a wall. So I'll kind of move most of the blooms up towards, one side. So if you, so it really highlights all in one thing. If you're going to have it, say, in an entryway where there's going to be kind of a 360 experience for people, then I'll just kind of pull them around, real loose, and I think as they start to open, you're going to want to arrange them just a little bit more. As you see, these are just starting to open here, where next to me, a couple days later, this is what they're going to look like as they just really open up. And, to show you one of these, it's just a gorgeous white lily. It comes out pure as snow. And then you have the option of if you want to pick off the pollen or not. It's definitely a classic flower conundrum of what do? Do you pick off the pollen or not? And if you pick off the pollen, they will have a little bit less scent, but then you lose the kind of cool contrast that the pollen provides in contrast to the white. Taking off the pollen, though, does reduce the ability to have the pollen all over your shirt or your tablecloth, or maybe the kids bump it over and you're really in trouble. So a lot of folks just like to rip off the pollen right as they open. And I'll show you an example right here. Right when they're starting to crack open, it's pretty neat that as they're still about this big, you can reach in there and pull it out, and they're not even kind of getting dark and fuzzy yet, they're just real easy to pull in. So as you can just reach in there and grab those out, and then when they open up, your work is done, rather than trying to do it once they've gotten all the kind of fuzziness to them. So then you've got your plant food. Hey now. So with your water in there, you're going to have your plant food, and you want to keep them in a cool place in your house, out of direct sunlight. And then lastly, it's really worth it to change the water about every 3 days. And a bouquet like this is going to look great for at least 2 weeks. And that's what with Stargazer Barn, you're buying your flowers as fresh as they can be. Literally, here's our greenhouse. This is where we're growing the lilies. And these are going to look amazing in your house or your office or wherever you are. So follow these simple tips and your flowers will look amazing and you'll get to enjoy them as long as possible. Thank you so much for visiting Stargazer Barn, and happy Mother's Day to everybody.